Welcome inside the Fantasy Sports Network studios. I'm Hannah Nordman for Hot Roster Now. NHL All-Star Weekend is almost here, but before the boys ship off to LA for the festivities, there's one more big night of hockey. There's 13 games on the ice tonight and 3 great cards for you to choose from at HotRoster.com. Here's my choices for the Power Play card, and it's packed with All-Stars. First up, it's Vladimir Tarasenko taking on Joe Pavelski. Tarasenko and the Blues are up against a Central Division heavyweight, the Minnesota Wild. With a win tonight, the Wild could take sole possession of top spot in the West. They've collected 20 wins in their past 25 games, and Devan Dubnyk is still looking like a future Vezina winner. Meanwhile, Tarasenko has cooled off as of late. He's got 46 points in 48 games, but only 3 in his last 8, all of them assists. Joe Pavelski and the Sharks are looking for their season-high 7th straight win as they host the Oilers. In 2 previous meetings this year, the Sharks have lit up Cam Talbot for 8 goals. I'll take Pavelski's upside over anyone taking on the Wild this year. Next matchup on my card sees Johnny Gaudreau up against Nikita Kucherov, and Gaudreau and the Flames have a lot to prove right now. They've lost 4 straight, and the last 3 of them they've lost by 4 goals each. And Johnny Hockey may be to blame for some of that misfortune. He has just 4 points in his 12 games this January and has gotten 1 or fewer shots in 4 of those. That's uncharacteristic for the speedy winger. Meanwhile, Nikita Kucherov plays in the Battle of the Sunshine State. Last season, the Lightning and Panthers stood atop the Atlantic Division. This year, they're both on the outside looking in. Kucherov has managed 8 points in his 11 games in 2017, and maybe more importantly, he's still peppering the net with shots. He's only been a minus player 3 times this month, and he's been managing big minutes well. I'm taking Kucherov in this one. My only matchup not featuring 2 All-Stars sees Ryan O'Reilly up against Taylor Hall. The Sabres are trending up and have a strong record against the Western Conference at 9-3-2. They're in Dallas tonight taking on the Stars, who've dropped 3 straight and have just 3 wins in their last 10. O'Reilly has 11 points in his last 10 games and looks good with Tyler Ennis and Kyle Okposo on his wings on the first line. Taylor Hall is in tough as the Devils take on the NHL's best Washington Capitals. The Caps have a league-best 51 goal differential, have allowed the fewest goals of any team at just 104, and have lost just once in regulation in their past 15 games. That's a steep hill to climb even for Hall, who still has a respectable 31 points in 39 games this season. O'Reilly may not have been picked for the All-Star game, but I'm picking him on Hot Roster. Finally, Hot Roster wants to know if Patrik Laine will get greater or less than 4 fantasy points. And up against Chicago, this may seem like a mismatch, but the Jets always seem to come to play against the Blackhawks. In 3 matchups this year, Winnipeg has taken all 3 with a combined score of 9-2. Now, we all know Laine can score, but with just 1 game under his belt since his concussion, it's tough to tell how he's going to fare. And with the reemergence of the Little Wheeler Cop line, they haven't had to lean on their ultra-young first line nearly as much. I'm taking the under. So that's my card for tonight. You can make your own by picking 4 to 10 matchups on any of the cards available now for the NHL and NBA. And for those of you who don't know what Hot Roster is, check it out. Go to HotRoster.com, download the app, give it a try. It's like no other fantasy game you've ever played. And then for help winning the game, check out Hot Roster today with Cam Stewart and Gary and Thorne every weekday at 4:30 Eastern, only on the Fantasy Sports Network. For Hot Roster Now, I'm Hannah Nordman.